Well, 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 here we are. Yet another Sengoku Basara Spotlight. And, well, what am I talking about yet another? It's been far too long since I've actually done one to begin with, and I even put up a freaking preview video showing off that, yes, I was going to be getting back into it, especially now that I've got my hands on Sengoku Basara 4. But, enough of that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers of all ages, it's Blazing Ace Nelson, and thanks to a request from a new subscriber and also a new follower on Twitter, the results of said request are what you're going to be seeing today. So, without further ado, let's get started. Now, the subject of today's spotlight is one that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I just haven't really had the chance to get down to. Well, chance or motivation, to be honest. But, you know what? Enough talking. Enough talk. Let's get down to it. Like I said, today's target is that man you see up there on your screen right now, Mitsunari Ishida. Now, historically, Mitsunari is pretty significant because he was the commander of the Western armies at the Battle of Sekigahara back when Japan, near the end of the Sengoku era, was split between the two big powers. In the West, there was, again, Mitsunari Ishida, and in the East, there was the eventual unifier and eventual victor of said war, Ieyasu Tokugawa. Now, as far as how Mitsunari plays into Sengoku Basara, he was introduced as one of the new cover characters for Sengoku Basara 3. And in the anime, he was technically introduced right at the very end of Season 2, pretty much after Hideyoshi's defeat and death. It was basically a segue into the whole East versus West conflict, which basically is covered in the anime Sengoku Basara The Last Party, or as far as the games go, Sengoku Basara 3. Here in 4, the timeline's a little different because this is all covering events during the Sengoku Restoration and the Muromachi era. However, each of the characters in this still retains their experiences and their memories from the events of Sengoku Basara 3. So it makes their interactions really interesting, especially Mitsunari. Anywho, let's go ahead and put this bad boy on ultimate difficulty, and we'll keep right on rolling. Now, before we actually get into his gameplay, I want to talk about his character design, because the design of the characters is one of the things that, as an action game, as a hack and slash game, sets Sengoku Basara apart from even Dynasty Warriors. And, well, it sets this apart from Koei's hack and slash franchises, like, again, Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors. I mean, in Samurai Warriors, in Sengoku Musou, Mitsunari looks a lot different. But he's still that sort of gruff type of individual. Very, very rough around the edges. Now, I'll just go ahead and select the stage that I want to actually run this bad boy through his paces on. But this will also give me a chance to go into the menu and show off a little bit more as far as his character design. Now, when he was first introduced in Sengoku Basara 3, or when they first put the focus on him and Ieyasu, the character design team at Capcom, in a moment of clarity, in one of their few moments of clarity, really did what they could to try and make Mitsunari sort of a counterpoint to Ieyasu. You know, more rich, darker colors as far as his design, blacks, purples, the occasional stark white for contrast, as compared to Ieyasu's warm yellows and oranges. You know, very much playing off of that sun and moon dichotomy. The alternate outfit that was designed for him for this game is actually one that I really like. Kind of that sort of, I guess you could say it's almost a Harlequin assassin sort of outfit. You know, very much playing up more on the rich, deep crimson and purples, more black, not as much white, not as much of the stark white from the original. So yeah, like I said, just character design in general, that's one of those things that really gets me and can really draw me into a game. And for others, it's the same, I'm sure. And you know what, I think I'll actually stick with that alternate outfit. And yeah, as you can see, I've already got his weapon maximized, got the max stats for it, got elemental attributes, got all of his moves unlocked, and it's his moves that we'll be getting into in a moment. But in order to show you what's going on with his moves, we gotta talk about his weapon. Now, Mitsunari's main weapon, I've seen numerous references to it. Some people have some have just called it a katana, but I've seen other places refer to it as an odachi. Now, the odachi is a blade that is midway in length between the classic curved katana and the longer zanbato and nodachi style longswords. And as a midway point between those two extremes as far as that sword goes, it's also a midway point as far as speed, handling, and power, to be perfectly honest. But the way Mitsunari handles that blade, you wouldn't expect it to be more cumbersome than its little brother or anywhere near as powerful as its big brothers. But as you're about to see, this dude is a high-speed madman on the battlefield. What's this dude doing sitting in Nobunaga's chair? Anyway, enough of the cutscenes. One of the first things you are going to want to get used to when you choose any character is how they move. And with Mitsunari, movement is essential. Now, as you can already see, Mitsunari's pretty fast on his feet. Stupid phone. Let me go ahead and take a quick second to mute this thing. There we go. Now, as I was saying, Mitsunari is pretty quick on his feet. But what you really want to take advantage of, ow, stop hitting me, is his special movement options, which come from his individual attribute, his unique technique known as Flash or Senkou. Ow. Now, as you can see, just from his normal attacks, and even from his evading, Mitsunari's fast. Mitsunari is very, Very fast. Now each character in the game not only has a standard 8 attack S string, but they also have what I like to call an audible technique, which is done by actually holding down the attack button. With Mitsunari, it's a heavier slash, but you'll notice at the end that he immediately teleported to his target's location where they landed. That is Mitsunari's flash technique. That is the Senkou technique, and you will want to make constant use of it. And you can end any of his attacks prematurely by holding down the normal attack button and actually utilizing Senkou to basically teleport to your opponent's location after they've been hit. Excuse me. Oh, Ieyasu's on his way. Now, even with his aerial attacks, you'll notice that it's just the standard 3 hits. But you can end his air combo, 1, 2, 3, by holding down the normal attack button, thereby utilizing Senkou to once again pursue your target and continue your assault. Now let's get down to the fun stuff. Here we go. It's time to show off Mitsunari's special arts. The first of which being donsai, aka conviction. Donsai could be used as your standard combo finisher if you're just going for short, sweet combos that do a good amount of damage. It knocks your opponents into the air and gives you plenty of time to set up your next assault. Just as with Mitsunari's normal attacks, if you hold down triangle after you perform donsai, you can pursue your opponents into the air with Senkou. And if you use the normal attack option, if you use the Senkou audible, you can follow them right back to the ground. Remember, folks, it's all about mobility and a constant, unrelenting assault. And you can do simple up and down combos, switching between donsai and various Senkou modified attacks. Ow. Now while you're in midair, excuse me, while you're in midair, if you hit triangle, he does a somersault slash, knocking your opponent back down to the ground, and holding down triangle, of course, allows you to use Senkou for further pursuit. Now, let's go ahead and move on to his next special. If you hold any of the directions down with the analog stick and hit triangle, that performs gokoku, aka lamentation. Lamentation takes advantage of Mitsunari's speed to basically have him dash forward, almost undetectable, and ends it with a slash. Now the great thing about gokoku is the simple fact that you can cancel the ending of that move with anything, and I mean anything. Well, anything short of a jump, anyway. So, gokoku, and before you come out of it, just tap the square button, tap normal attack, and you can instantaneously cancel it. Switching between gokoku and normal attacks can actually be used as something of an offensive wave dash, and it's actually one of the fastest ways to get around the battlefield with Mitsunari. And it's real simple. All you gotta do is just hold the stick down and just really, very rhythmically switch between tapping square and triangle. You get the idea. And I finally opened that gate. Now, the next move that you pick up once leveling him up is his R1 special art, Zonkey, aka Regret. At higher levels, Zonkey not only does more slashes in that energy field, kind of like Virgil's Judgment Cut, but on top of that, it also has a vacuum effect, sucking your opponents in. Great for crowd control, great for keeping up that continuous assault. And, as I mentioned earlier, you can cancel immediately into it from gokoku. Another offensive wave dash option, should you decide to use it. Now, the last of the special arts that you'll unlock with Mitsunari as you level him up is Akutsu, Anguish. Akutsu is a wide-range attack that covers a crescent moon-shaped area. But even in the midst of his travel path, the area that he covers is wide. Very high damage. Very high... Well, not a very high number of hits, at least not compared to Zonkey. But it's still very useful. Well, it's useful once you get around the simple fact that Akutsu has very long startup. It normally has very long startup and very long recovery. Now, just as with each of his other special arts, except for, of course, gokoku. Ah, get off me. If you hold down the button that you use to perform this attack, at the very end of it, you'll have him perform Senkou to teleport towards his target and pursue them for additional attacks. Donsai, Senkou. You get the idea. Even with Zonkey, you can have him use Senkou and teleport forward to continue the attack. And then we have Akutsu. Immediately approaches his target for the next wave of attacks. Excuse me. Now, for those of you that are only playing Sengoku Basara 3, Samurai Heroes, and Utage, there are some changes that are available in Basara 4 that won't be available to you for 3. Like, for example, being able to perform both Zonkey and Akutsu mid-air. Those of you that are playing Basara 4, you can utilize Senkou at the end of both the aerial versions of Zonkey and Akutsu. Keeping yourself within striking range to once again keep up that relentless barrage of attacks. Now, since I've got the gauge full, let's show off his Basara real quick. Ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? A little Jack Nicholson humor for you. Now, as you've seen just from these past couple of seconds, while you're holding down the block button, while you're holding down L1 and moving around, sidestepping, you can cancel his sidestep with any of his special arts. Doing so will actually act as a shortcut, pretty much negating the startup. You notice how right there when I tried to do zonkey, he actually went in for the startup. Come out of a sidestep, instant zonkey. Come out of a sidestep, instant akutsu. Come out of a sidestep, ahem, out of a sidestep, instant donsai. And if you go into any of Mitsunari's special arts, even from his normal attacks, it negates the startup. Negating the startup on Mitsunari's slower attacks using his cancel capabilities, and taking advantage of Senkou to continue keeping up the pressure on any mobs or even any boss characters that you come up against is going to be essential in keeping yourself from getting KO'd. Now, as you level up your character, of course, you're going to wind up unlocking not only more moves, but you're also going to wind up unlocking their super arts. In Sengoku Basara 4, you have access to all 3 of them on the fly, and you can switch between them. In Sengoku Basara 3, that plays kind of like the Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter 4 series in that you have to choose your super art before going into battle. The first of the super arts that you'll unlock for Mitsunari is none other than Execution, aka Zanmetsu. Now, for those of you that actually have to choose between your super arts, Zanmetsu, at least as far as I'm concerned, Zanmetsu is going to be your go-to super art. The startup's kinda horrible. Okay, what am I talking about kinda? The startup is really horrible. But the range, once you level it up, is insane. And even better, just like with the remainder of his special arts, if you hold down the attack button, if you hold down R2, after performing Zanmetsu, you will immediately use the Senkou technique to teleport to your opponent and pursue them for high damage follow-ups. You can also cancel out of not only his side steps, but also his normal attacks. And canceling out of gokoku to negate the startup on Zanmetsu. And I'll go ahead and... yeah, awesome Ieyasu versus Hideyoshi cutscene. Oh Jesus. Now I could very well get killed considering that, you know, I'm facing off against freaking Hideyoshi. Oh Jesus! He was swinging me around like a rag doll. Okay, let's go ahead and switch to his second super art, Zanshu. Oh crap. Zanshu is an offensive grab, which basically does high single hit damage. His third super art, Kyokoku, is an alternate offensive attack mode, and I just got killed. Oh, Jesus, did I just get killed. Wait a minute. I revived. Okay, once I'm able to actually switch away from Yoshitsugu and get Mitsunari back on the field, I'll be able to show off. There we go. Boom. Let's get him back. Now, the thing about... Sorry. I mispronounced the name of the attack. It's Kyoko, aka Veneration. Now, the thing about Veneration is that, once again, it's a separate offensive tactic. It's a separate offensive mode.
You were the chosen one!
You can't block. All you can do is advance forward. But the more attacks you land with Kyoko, the faster he'll move. But if you fail to hit anything, while you are running, or even while he's in walking mode, then it negates it. But anyway, you've just watched me lose to both Ieyasu and Hideyoshi on Ultimate Difficulty in Sengoku Basara 4. But hopefully the explanations of all of the attacks and super arts, hopefully this breakdown of Mitsunari as a character comes in handy for those of you that decide to pick him up, either in Samurai Heroes, Utage, or here in Basara 4. But now that we've got all of his moves out of the way, let me go ahead and show you a few sample combos. Anything that involves being able to, that involves canceling from any of his normal attacks into zonkey will be very handy for setting up combo strings. If you've got Zanmetsu unlocked, you're going to want to use that to basically set up your advanced assaults. As you level up your special attacks, especially in Basara 4, once you get them to the higher levels, that'll give you the cancel options as well as the mid-air options, thus expanding your attack range even further. And always keep in mind that you are going to want to hold down your attack buttons once you finish those attacks in order to use Senkou. As I've mentioned numerous times before throughout the course of this walkthrough, Senkou is going to be vital. Utilizing it, mastering it. Using your normal audible in order to cancel into Senkou? Get off me! Using your audible attack to cancel into Senkou? Using your side steps to cancel into zonkey. And especially into Zanmetsu. Keeping up that relentless assault, even if you have to stagger your attacks with side steps. And, keep yourself from getting blown up. Hitting L1 and R1 to activate hero mode, Basara 4 exclusive, is going to make things that much better for you. Now, if you're in midair and you want to make sure that you keep the opponent close for normal attack loops, you'll want to use akutsu. For those of you playing Basara 3 and Utage, I'm not sure if you'll have access to those midair special arts options. If not, then just remember that you can always hold down either normal attack for your audible or triangle while you're in midair in order to basically, once again, utilize Senkou in order to get you back to the ground and back to starting position in order to continue your attacks. Constant pressure is the name of the game. If you want to keep your attacks safe, especially on the higher difficulties, then when you basically have to choose one of your super arts, Zanmetsu's the way to go. No questions asked. But for those of you out there like Tetsuo49 who tend to be a little more advanced as far as stylish combos, you can pretty much put anything to use. It's a matter of trial and error, and basically experimenting for yourself and just having fun. And that's really what this is all about. Just having fun. Oh, another little tidbit about Zonkey. If you've got gunners or cannoneers aiming their projectiles at you, Zonkey works great as a reflective barrier to knock those projectiles back at your opponents. So, before I run up and get myself killed once again by Ieyasu and Hideyoshi, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and end this character breakdown here. So from here we're going to go ahead and cut into a real quick synopsis slash sum up segment to basically recap what you really should know with Mitsunari, and hopefully this proves useful to all of you out there playing Basara 4 if you're just barely getting into it, or even if you just want a refresher. So, until next time, until the next Sengoku Spotlight, thanks a lot for watching. This is Blazing Ace Nelson, and I'll catch you on the next one. Okay, I cut out that battle footage because I didn't want to bog down the video any further, but from the looks of it, yay, I survived! Barely. And now for a true test of everything that I've basically explained to you over the course of the video. In the red corner, the irrepressibly angry Mitsunari Ishida. And in the blue corner, stealing Nobunaga's seat, the Muromachi man himself. Yoshiteru Ashikaga. Will all this actually pay off? We'll find out soon enough. But win or lose, this is going to be the last fight of the video. Oh, sweet Jesus. Ugh! Stay away from me. But you'll notice a very defensive setup. No! Bad! Must not let him hit me. Oh God, he's here! Wow, already got him down to half. Sweet. Okay, we gotta put a stop to this bastard fast. Booyah! Jesus! Hit him! Hit him! Please hit him! Oh, Jesus, hit him! No, 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 no! No, no, no! Don't do it, Yamanashi! Come on. I got the fate of 400 subscribers riding on my shoulders. Let's go! Ugh! Help! Help me! Sorry, get him! Get him! Crap. Can't let him get behind me. Oh, can't let him get anywhere near me. Ugh! Yes! Alright, almost there. Just gotta keep the camera turned the right direction and keep the pressure on. Woo! Woo! Come on. Come on! Oh yes, good job, Yoshitsugu. Oh Jesus. Zanmetsu missed. Zanmetsu missed! Help! You know what? Bam! With a timely assist by my combat partner.